Let's welcome our cast. First up, we have Erica Wilson, the mother of Alan Hearns. Next up, we have Sandra Perryman, the mother of Denzel Perryman. Moving on to Melissa Phillips, the mother of Lynn Bowden Jr. Last but certainly not least, we have Stacey Sherrell, the mother of J.J. Weaver. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this special episode of NFL Mom as we take you on a journey through the lives of these incredible mothers. Let's welcome our host, Erica Wilson.
Great day, great day, great day, everyone. We're here live today with the girl Erica Wilson that it had to happen for our Monday Night Madness. Listen, guys, we have a special treat for you guys on tonight. We have the beautiful Ebony Sarah. Am I saying that right, Ebony? I hope so. But Miss Ebony, she is a mental health licensed. I'm sorry, let's rewind. I've been working all day, y'all, all night, all day on this, okay? But without further ado, let me just go ahead and bring my girls on in here, and then I'll give Miss Ebony the welcome that she rightly deserved. So we have Sandra Perryman. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good evening, everyone.
We have Melissa Phillips.
Hey.
That was a dry hey.
What? Hi, y'all.
And then we have the beautiful Stacey Sherrell.
What's up?
All right. And then the beautiful Ebony Sarah. Welcome, ladies.
Hello. Thank you all for having me.
Oh, gosh, listen, y'all don't even know. I was telling Sissy standing in the green room, I gotta find some help. This thing is too much. Y'all, it took me over 8 hours to make that promo video.
That's nice. It was nice.
It was very nice.
Yeah. Good job.
Keep on.
That's exactly what I was hoping to hear. So, ladies, we're going to jump into this topic, which is very, very interesting, coping under pressure. Because how many of us know that it's far too often where we're under pressure. Sometimes we know it, and sometimes we just brush it off because it's the new norm, right? Especially since this pandemic done hit. Mm-hmm. It just really, I don't even know what to say. But before we jump into this topic, coping under pressure, first, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves because we don't know. We may have some new viewers that's on. So I am Erica Wilson. I am the host and the mother of Alan Hearns, pro wide receiver. Sissy Sand.
Hello, I'm Sandra Perryman, the mother of pro linebacker Denzel Perryman.
Hello, I'm Melissa Phillips, the mother of Lynn Bowden Jr., player for the Saints, wide receiver.
Hello, I am Stacey Sherrell, mother of J.J. Weaver, linebacker at University of Kentucky.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ebony Sturb. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist as well as a licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida. And I own Epiphany Counseling and Professional Services.
Yes. Wow. As you can see, we have so much beauty going on here as we're celebrating Black History Month. Our Black is definitely beautiful in all shades. You see it here on tonight. What is that? Possessor of the wings of Isis. It was great, and you need an intern. I do. I truly do. Yes, we do. Hello, Deshauna. Hello, bro. Which is bro's not on yet. Nephew. Hello. Hey, Paula. Hey, niece. Hey, Darius. Hey, nephew. Hey, Kareem. Hey, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into this topic, y'all, because as I was researching the numbers on mental health and athletes, it literally blew my mind because I'm telling you, ladies, I never even thought to look this up when Alan started playing. It's just, since this show came about, it's like the topics that we pick, I definitely want to go and kind of, grab some numbers out there so we can kind of see what we're dealing with here. And just the numbers, I was telling Sissy Stan in the green room, it's alarming. It is very, very alarming. So I'm going to go ahead and read this really quick. Man, I'm telling you, it's alarming. So y'all bear with us, okay? It says more than 35% of the elite athletes suffer from a mental health crisis, which may manifest
Mm,
as stress, eating disorders, burnout, or depression,
where your
and
dad?
anxiety, according to the Clinical Journal of Sports Medicine. Ooh, isn't that something? Then it says, according to a survey by the NCAA, somebody's phone, can you mute it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Um, and it says here, according to the survey by the NCAA, approximately 30% of student athletes self-reported that they had experienced mental health difficulties. Oh, Jesus. Let's go to the next one. My God. Then the next one says the mental health literacy of student athletes was rated at 68.7% in a study published in the Journal of Clinical Sports Psychology. Ooh, now let's read this one here with a D1 school. I think all of our kids went to a D1 school. At a D1 school, 68% of athletic directors in a survey reported seeing an increase in the number of athletes seeking mental health services over the past 3 years. Now that's according to the NCAA. But just to hear the increase in numbers, and I can say I believe it has a lot to do with the pandemic because I think the pandemic has, really turned up a lot of our lives, really have brought to the forefront of, some things that we probably was hiding or really wasn't dealing with in the background. And it kind of, everything like kind of surfaced all at once. So I want to hear your ladies' take on these statistics because this is very alarming for me as a mother to hear that about, our children. So starting with you, Sister Sand, can you tell me what you think about these numbers?
It's crazy. It's shocking. I never knew it was like that. So that seeing that when you put up the clipping was my first time seeing that in those numbers.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't think to look this up.
Mhm.
I did not, I really didn't think to look it up where, Alan Star or Daryl start playing, either one of them. It's
Right.
just, it's alarming, and very alarming. And being though Melissa, you and Stacey, you guys dealt with the pandemic, especially you, Melissa, when your son was going into the league, he had to deal with the pandemic, not being able to go to certain things. Certain things were snatched away from him. So tell me what you think about hearing these numbers.
The numbers aren't, they're not surprising. You kind of see it hands on in college. You got to excuse the romper room going on. My son has surgery, so I'm helping keep the kids. um, what was I gonna say? But yeah, it was a lot of stuff that we didn't experience that I'm happy that they're finally up and functioning probably better than they were before. Um, one of the things is they have virtual training camp
Wow.
initially that ended up being reporting. So, and a lot of the stadiums weren't allowed fans, just little different stuff like that. So, but it's amazing to hear the numbers, and I'm just glad that everything, hopefully, surely, slowly but surely, like they have throughout football history, they'll be able to iron out some of the kinks that are in the fabric.
Hello, nephew. Why aren't you on? You know you are our prized possession on IH2H, nephew. Okay, Sister Stacy, for you, being though your son is in college now and hearing, the things that you told me about declaring and not just declaring, but going back to the part where kids could be there 6, 5, 6, 7 years. That's kind of mind-boggling to me. I mean, we learn so much on this show. And I think that's why this show is much needed because we all learning from one another. And I'm telling you, I don't care how much you think you can learn from one another. And all of us have different walks of life and have experienced some different things. So share with me what you think hearing this about, because your son's still in college. So hearing this about a D1 school.
Right. Well, my son dealt with depression and a lot of mental health. And it was around the time, you know, during COVID, his father was murdered. He had a torn ACL, so it was like boom, 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 boom. You
Mm.
know, it all happened at once, and so those numbers, it really doesn't surprise me, so to speak, because as African American people, our culture, we are taught to suppress
Yeah.
our feelings and not, express them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So when it comes to dealing with mental health within our community, we didn't know. I didn't know how to go about it.
Right.
What to do. I prayed, of course, but to know that it is not being taught or in our culture, is very, you don't know how to deal with it. You know what
Right.
I mean? So with him, he sheltered himself. He
Mm.
went into this dark place. He closed everybody off, and that was his way. He thought,
Yeah.
to deal with it, but it only made matters worse until he was man enough, and that was the maturity that I saw of him. That he just like, you know what, this is not me. I got to move forward. I need to talk to someone. So
Well, Sister Stacey, I can say on his behalf, I mean, just my opinion, I can say not being man enough, but you said the key word. It's not being taught. It's not being talked about. We don't talk about these type of things. We
right.
wasn't taught these type of things. So at the end of the day, he didn't know which way to turn in his defense. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So it's so crazy that these numbers are so alarming. And all of us now, my son is now retired, Sister Stan, nephew still playing, nephew Liz still playing, and then your son is still playing. But the thing is, just to hear
Mm-hmm.
these numbers. So, Ebony, please make sense of this for me, because
Listen, and the sad part is those numbers are the reported numbers. So that means that this is, from people actually seeking assistance. We're not even
Mm-hmm.
talking about those that don't, right? That don't go see a therapist, don't go to their student services at school, or don't use the resources from the provided therapist that the team may have, or that someone may suggest. So those numbers are, although alarming, are still very low, only because they're reported, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it does, it shocks you, right? Because it's unexpected. But when you spoke about the pandemic, it was the exposure. So
mm,
that's what exposed our mental health concerns, not necessarily what created them. It might have added to them. It may have, amplified it, but definitely it existed prior to.
right,
We're always dealing with some form of stress, depression, sadness, grief, right? Where, whether we've lost a loved one or we've lost a job, even friends, right? So we grieve our friendships as well.
mm,
Situations in family where we're separated, right? So all these things have happened prior to the pandemic. And, you hit the nail on the head, Erica, when you said that we just didn't deal with it. We kept it, we hid it, right? Everything, we just kind of like, oh, this happened, put that on
Right.
the shelf. Oh, this happened, put that on the shelf. And then the pandemic forced us to be by ourselves. So what it did is it forced us to be present. It forced us to pay attention to,
yeah,
oh, something's not right. You know what I mean? And so when we didn't become our best people to ourselves, then
mm,
that's when it became obvious. And the pandemic definitely pointed out, hey, that I'm not my best self. I'm not nice to me, you know.
right,
And we get to be in denial when we're around other people, because we can overshadow, their problems or their issues or their personalities overshadow us.
wow,
So we don't get to see that. Um, so it definitely did expose it. But I'm happy to say that as people of color, we're not as blinded to our mental health as we were before. So, the conversation is actually a conversation now, whether it's a conversation at home or whether it's a conversation amongst our friend groups, or if it's just a conversation on social media. So
Right.
we definitely have to clap it up for our people because we're shining a light, you know,
Yes.
and it's not just professionals. It's not just me, and other therapists, but you got players coming out speaking about it. They're
Mm-hmm.
not silent anymore. They're not struggling in silence anymore. And so that's a great thing. You have actors and actresses. So you got all these different people who are no longer necessarily afraid to say, "This is my struggle."
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Not that is not even that is just my struggle, but that I go to somebody for my struggle, and that
Right.
because Black people, we don't. My business is my business. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I don't want you to know that, right?
Yes,
You hit
ma'am.
it on the head.
Yeah, right. It's like, hey, because
Yeah.
because then I get the side eye, then I get questioned about
Right.
my abilities.
Right.
And as
Yep.
African American men, since we're speaking on, athletes, that are out here, and your boys are amazing athletes, right? I love me some Alan Hearns. That's family. And I've heard about the Perryman. I heard about Phyllis. Like all these people are major out there. But since we're speaking on that, it's big that they're standing up
Mm-hmm.
and that they're that voice because those kids that are under them, that are looking up to them, who are also struggling with their own grief and their own sadness and where they stand in and where they fit in and their confidence or lack thereof.
Right.
Right. So when we see our athletes out here working so hard to speak, to be a voice for the mental health community, that speaks volumes. So I kudos you guys. I give you guys so much kudos for being this voice right now because this is still a major concern.
Very much so. Very much so. Okay, before we jump on to the next thing, let me go ahead and just shout out our audience because we can't do this without them. Possessor of the Wings of Isis says, great topic. Thank you so much. Our girl, Natasha. Natasha says, that part, Ebony. Great evening, superstar, bro. Great evening. Great evening. Natasha says, not surprised. Athletic pressure every season. Horrible coaches that can make break careers. Adolescent to adult transitions, life in America. And what she just said, make or break. I had my oldest son. He was a great quarterback, very good quarterback in high school. Coach just broke his spirit. Just literally moved him up from JV, put him on varsity only to sit the bench. Just really robbed him of his career. But God had another plan. That's all right. Maybe it wasn't God's plan. How about that? Hey, nephew, how are you? Wendell says, I guess this is the mister. He says, great job, Mrs. Sherrell. Well spoken, always proud. Oh, my God. Oh, Kwanzaa, hey, hey, hey. All right, guys. But listening to what we all said here, and Ebony, what you were saying, Sister Stacey shared with us about her son dealing with grief. Um, one of the things I know that I did as a person, I suppressed a whole lot. I didn't
Mhm.
want to remember. You
Mhm.
understand what I'm saying? Let me help everybody else so I don't have to deal with what I have to deal with. So what you said, Ebony, when you said, listen, when you sit with yourself and you have to be alone with yourself and you get to see yourself, you start
Mhm.
questioning like, ooh, oh my God,
Yeah.
if we be real with
Yeah.
one another. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And sometimes we do things unconsciously, because what? It's normal. It's
Mhm.
normal. So let me just go ahead and continue down this path because it's the norm. So,
Exactly.
I don't need to change. Why should I change? But what happens? And I have this question for you ladies before I jump back to Sister Stacy. What happens when, okay, you may have dealt with some things in your past, and you may go to this person, and this person is maybe who God sent you to to get the help. But just because you knew something about that person in their past, now you didn't even know it. You think you knew what was going on with that person, and you kind of like push that person away because, well, I'm not gonna listen to you because I know what you did or I know what you're doing. That's another thing we're dealing with in the black and brown community. That
Mm-hmm.
we have to, it's time out for that. So what do you think about that, Sister Sam?
It's true. And as you all know, I always had trust issues, so that was my biggest pet peeve is trusting people.
Yeah.
And I try not to judge people. And I think I'm getting much better with that. I must admit. But like Sissy Erica said, I know your past, so how could you help me
Yeah.
with my situation? How can I trust you, with the stuff that I'm telling you that you're not going to go and judge me?
Right.
So I'm working on it, and I think I have gotten better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a problem. But if God sent you that person,
Yeah.
then you got to step out on faith and believe that
Yeah.
it's just going to stay right there and that you're going to get the help that you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not even just that, Sissy, saying what I was saying, not just they're gonna judge you, but maybe the person don't want to receive what is being given because they know something about that person, or they think they maybe just even heard it. Because we know a lot of times people are really out here poisoning the ears of others about other
Mm-hmm.
people. You see what I'm saying? So you may not even want to receive what God is sending you. A lot of times, I love to say this because a lot of times we sell the very people that God has sent to us just
Mm-hmm.
because we have what maybe that trust issue, or we you can't tell me nothing, and I know what you're going through, girl. I'm not. The Bible tells us be careful who we entertain. See,
Mm-hmm.
we want it all shaped right and come in a pretty package, and everything pretty don't, I mean, ain't good.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
sometimes it's gonna come in an ugly form that
Mhm.
you may be thinking is an ugly form. But yes, I must say, Sissy said, I love that about you. Yes, you have come a very long way. Because she know the conversations her and I had. And I'm just telling you, one thing about it and two things for sure. You'll know. You'll know.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you push that person away, the Holy Spirit is gonna send something to you and be like, man, I shouldn't have did that. And
Mhm.
you're gonna double back. And then when you double back, it's up to that very person who you doubling back to not to turn you away.
Yeah.
See, it happens. You hurt me, so I'm gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, come on, sisters and brothers, we got time out. People are hurting
Mm-hmm.
out here. We see it here. We're just talking about athletes right now. That was the numbers for athletes.
Right.
Think about the athletes' moms, the
Yeah.
athlete brothers,
Mhm.
dad, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
sisters, whatever it may be. One thing about it, us mothers, we carry so much.
Mhm.
We have to wear so many hats. Come on, Sister Melissa. What do you think?
Okay. What I was gonna say, well, when I first came back on the show, we was experienced a lot of major loss. So I can only imagine how my son felt. It was something that we all were going through uh in what 4 months, multiple people. So and not just like far distant relatives, very, very close. So I couldn't imagine to have to still go to work and keep a focused mind on something like that. And we still don't have a whole year in. Well, for one of them, we do. We still got 3 more months before we'll have a year in for my grandmother, which was the one that helped me rear them, and my father, which is who we all took in. You probably can't see him from here, but he on the mantle over there. So I couldn't imagine. I just know that as much as I could, I tried to be there for my son. But that's a man. And like Sister Stacey said, you a woman couldn't imagine how a man feels. The
Mm-hmm.
roles are entirely different to be a father, to be a fiance, a professional player, and a brother, a cousin, et cetera, and still have to maintain
I think she kind of
as
froze. Okay, there you go. You froze for a minute. Go ahead.
It has grown him amazingly. Losing a lot of people close to us has brought on a newfound strength in him. And unfortunately, his sadness has turned to happiness.
Mm,
Sometimes you gotta lose everything to gain a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
yeah.
And I've always been very optimistic about letting people help us. The most important thing for me, for my journey, our journey, because it is all of ours, was staying mentally capable and being able to push through. Because I know a lot of the times I set the tone. So if I fall apart, I'm not setting a good example.
Mm-hmm.
So I can only imagine the role he had to play.
Now let
So
me show you
yeah,
this. You said that if you fall apart, then what was that you said?
if I fall apart, what
Hmm.
example would I be setting for them? So my goal was to keep going.
Okay, this is the thing. You're holding it all together. You're teaching them not to show emotions. It's teaching us to
But
lie to our children. So that is a
wait,
lie. Let
n-
me explain this to
no,
you. Let me
I was
explain
gonna
this.
say they cry. Remember, I wasn't
No,
allowed.
no. What I'm saying
So
is, you were saying that if you like lose it,
no,
basically, that go
no,
ahead.
no. My kids are different than me. My kids are emotional.
Uh
I
huh.
wasn't allowed. So them, we grieve different. Like they went through the whole crying and
Right. Right.
the process. I wasn't allowed when I was younger. So this is something that I'm learning. Them, they were allowed. My kids were allowed. I wasn't. So
No, no.
that's
I'm
why I
saying when
say
you
if
said
I
that,
fall apart,
right? If
no,
you
they
follow,
know how. I don't.
okay. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because I
they
was
know
going to say
how.
a
I
lot of
don't.
times what we do is we try to hold ourselves together, and inside we're dying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's not just with our
Yeah.
kids; it's with our
Yeah.
girlfriends. It's daily life. We're trying to hold everything together, and see and
Hmm.
then when what they say, pressure bust pipes.
Mm-hmm.
It do.
When they hit the
It
fan,
do.
boy, it's not coming out right. But the thing is, I want to piggyback off of what you said too about no, we can't teach them how to be a man. But the thing is,
Hmm.
we could teach them how to show their emotions, how to, it's okay to cry. It's okay to say that it hurt. It's okay, but it's our jobs as mothers, we're nurturers, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
That's something that they're teaching me. I was the non-affectionate one because that was what I was taught. But them, oh, they super loving. They cry when they're supposed to. Mine's is inappropriate.
Mm.
So
Well, sis, yours is not inappropriate. Stop speaking that over you because the thing is that was something you were taught. No, let me explain to you.
mm,
That was something that you were taught. So don't own that. You understand what I'm
okay,
saying? That happened to you, but it happened for you. Understand me
hmm,
because right now you're getting it. Back then
right,
you didn't.
right.
So sometimes we have to get things from our children that we didn't
That's
get
true.
as a child. You understand
That's
what I'm
true.
saying? So don't keep speaking those type of things over yourself. No, you probably didn't get it then, but you know how
Hmm.
to do it now. So it
Right,
happened to you, but it happened for you. And I thank
right.
God for that you could be open and transparent about that,
Of
because
course.
it takes time. This is something that
Mm-hmm.
don't happen overnight. And parenting,
Hmm.
it did not come with no type of book. Okay,
No.
none.
Hmm.
So Sister Stacey, oh, let me go ahead and bring in my nephew. He backstage. Hey nephew, bring him all in here. Hey nephew.
Uh,
Always late to the party.
no,
He was
I forgot.
he was on time.
No, I was here. I was here, and then I had to log in on my computer, and I forgot my password a couple times. So I was sitting there for like 5 minutes trying to figure it out.
Lord have
Oh my God.
mercy.
I think you just want to do the hearts with me at the end of the show. How about that?
It ain't gonna work. I gotta update the computer. Ain't no more that.
Oh man. Oh man. Okay, Sister Stacy, let's go to you. So if someone you needed help and you went to someone that you thought you can talk to and you knew something about that person.
Well, so I have a example that took place in my life. So we're not from here. We're from Florida. So that first year we moved, it was a hard transition. We didn't know anyone. My husband has three other children that we left, back home. So it was like we were buttoned up against head, you know. And we found this church. We were
One
going to.
second. Bring your beautiful face over some because my head kind of cutting you off. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
I was trying to take the shine. But no. So when we found this church. So we started going to the church, and it got so bad between him and I, where we were just contemplating divorce. That's it. I'm over it, whatever. And so my mom, who's a minister, she said, well, go to that pastor. You guys get counseling, before that divorce thing ain't gonna work for me. So she's trying to, walk me through it. So I called the church and got a hold of the secretary. So the secretary was like, well, what's your name? So I told her my name. She said, well, I don't see you as a member. I said, well, no, I'm not a member, but, I've been visiting quite frequently, so on and so forth. And so I, not going into details, but I kind of told her, I'm looking for the pastor or the pastor's wife to kind of counsel me and my husband on our marriage. And so she was like, you're not paying tithes. And so she went on, girl. So she went
Listen,
on this
I'm the
whole.
wrong person to talk about that. Stacey.
I said, you know what? I'm done. I hung up. So I took that as a sign, right? So we went on, my mom, prayed for us, my sister, and everything. So lo and behold, he had this cousin that came to visit. Her job transfer her here. And she stayed with us for a while till she got her own place. So she got her own place. So she said, Stacey, I want you to go to church with me. I found a nice church and get ready Sunday. Okay, I'm gonna get. So we got dressed, got ready, and they were having a revival, and it was like a retreat. And pull up, it was the same church. I'm like, no, you didn't. You did not bring me here. So y'all, I had like everything in that revival was everything I was dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't give that pastor and his wife a chance because of what the secretary said and did. You know what I mean? But that helped me mentally. So I agree with you. You cannot always go on, oh, look at her. You cannot always go on people's past or what you've heard or just by other people's word, because your life may be different. Your situation with that person may be different from what experience you have with that person, but if it wasn't for that cousin and if it wasn't for me being humble and say, you know what, I'm gonna go through the retreat, I'm gonna go through this revival, I'm gonna put it behind. And now my husband and I are like best friends. I couldn't ask for a better spouse, partner, friendship, nothing, because I had to go through that. You know what I'm saying? So, and if it wasn't for me just going back and just sitting, and just let me sit through this, and it was just hitting me. I was like, this man done read my whole. Did my husband called you? Because he was reading me left and right.
And see, that's the thing. See, that's why, it stopped with the secretary. You see what I'm saying? And it's who we have representing us that could throw people off.
Yeah.
So that's how we have to be very, very careful who we even attach to. Because looking at a pastor and his wife probably knew nothing about it. So I kind of agree with you, Natasha, when you said that's how churches are failing the community. Tithes are not help. Absolutely. I agree with that. I'm the type of person, I understand perfectly about the tithing thing, and I'm not going to take this away from this take away from this topic about coping under pressure, but that's a whole nother ball game right there. And the thing is, it's not the church, it's the people in the church.
Mm-hmm.
You see,
Mhm.
and this is what happened. We get bad seeds because bad things about you. You take in bad things about people because of what somebody else said, and it causes you to miss out. Had not your cousin never came, you wouldn't have had that blessing.
Ain't no
But
telling
see,
what we would have been, right?
exactly. But see, that's why that enemy was trying to distract you. He knew what was being set up. You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I thank God that you humbled yourself and you kept pushing, and didn't give up, because that's the enemy job, to steal, kill, and destroy.
Yeah.
But see,
Yeah.
he didn't even know that God had a better plan, the
That's
best
right.
plan. All
Yeah.
right, Ebony, come on here. We're
Oh, y'all
hearing
give me so much. Y'all say all these things, and my brain is like, okay, girl, say this, say that, say this. So let me try to take what y'all were saying. So let me tap into the space of reaching out to people and in the trust space, right? Being able to, I know something about you and all this other stuff. I always tell my clients, we have to remember that before people are all of these titles, they are people. They are
Amen.
human beings.
Amen.
So it is, and I'm gonna use this word very lightly, it is unfair to have the levels of expectations that we have of people, because those expectations come from the definition of whatever their position is, not them, right? So, I don't want to talk to my mama about it because that's my mama, or my mama, you my mama, right? Like, there's so much emphasis on those titles, right? The pastor, the secretary, like, there's so many emphasis, excuse me, on that. We let ourselves get hurt off of that, right? Like, you from the church, you supposed to, but I keep forgetting that you're flesh, you're human. God working on you every day, just like he working on me every day. You're not going to get it right, and I'm not going to get it right. And that doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to expect. It just means that I have to have realistic expectations. So when you all were speaking, I kept hearing the Spirit say, when I send people, I prepare your heart for them. So at the end of the day, if I'm going to send you somebody to speak a word, or to be there to hear you when you need to say something, you better believe your heart is already prepared to take in what that person's going to say, regardless of what I know about you. So if I know something about Miss Erica, and then something's going on with me, and Erica comes and she says, hey, I was praying and God told me to speak to you, my heart's already prepared for that. So what I know about Erica goes in the back of my head.
But let's speak about that rebellion one, though, because we have those that even though the heart is prepared, I'm going to rebel because I know what I know about you.
Of course. And so when we rebel, then we suffer consequences, right? So that's in the spiritual space, and that's in our world, our outside space, because trauma will definitely have us to, right? Because that's a response. Okay. But it's not until after we've had the response and we see the results of our response that then we sit back and we process it. So that's the difference, what we talk about in therapy, about being reactive and responsive. Our trauma forces us to be reactive. We don't give ourselves an opportunity to respond. And us people, our problem is we don't know how to wait, right? That's the problem. And so how I feel is how I speak. You made me mad, I'm popping off. I don't know how to pause for a second and process what's going on. In that processing, I'm going to be able to check myself, check my feelings, right? Is this feeling even making sense to me? Because feelings are lies. That doesn't mean we're not allowed to feel it, but most of our feelings, if not all of our feelings, there's no truth to those things, right? What's the facts? Having the facts allows us to respond. Having feelings makes me react. I'll use Denzel because I'm looking straight at him and that's his name right there, right? So like Denzel made me feel like this. So now I'm going to react off of what Denzel made me feel. But at the end of the day, are those feelings true? I feel like Denzel don't like me because he didn't walk in the room and speak.
Oh,
That's my feeling, right? There's no truth to that statement. Denzel, like I don't even know you. So how, right? At the end of the day, right? And that's how that goes. Because half the time, sister such and such stepped on my toe. She didn't even know she stepped on my toe. It was so crowded in the space. You know what I mean? That she didn't know. Oh no, she knew. She knew she stepped on my toe. That lady probably thought she stepped on the fan when she was walking through the church. Like it's not clicking like that. Once I have time to wait and think and present facts to myself is when I'm able to then respond. And we got to get over the fact that silence is a response too.
Right.
So if I say nothing, that's okay. I don't have to speak on everything. I can learn how to not speak on everything, because if I speak on it all, I am maintaining my own stress.
Amen.
That's what I'm doing. So a lot of the times, yes, life and work and our jobs and our family and our husbands and our kids, they bring us stress. But sometimes we water in the garden.
Yep.
We're watering the garden, because we feel like we're justified. I must say, I must speak, I must do this. And I'm not, instead of me creating the peace that I'm seeking, I am growing my stress, right? So, that does not take away fault from people. That doesn't give the right for a person to say certain things to us, right? And that doesn't mean because I'm telling you to not be reactive that you should not have a voice. But I can have a voice and not react because my reaction overshadows my voice. If I'm mad and I'm screaming at you, are you really listening to me? You're not paying me no attention. You too busy paying attention to how I'm acting. So
Jesus.
what did I actually say? I ain't say nothing. Right. So that was our topic. But anyway, so
no, that was good. That's what needed to be said. Because we as mothers, we sometimes, and I'm glad Denzel, you are here, nephew, but sometimes as mothers, we tend to think that we can say what we want. And I'm the mom, or I'm the dad, like you my child, you're gonna listen to what I got to say. And then when they become adults, they're gonna stand their ground and be like, Mom, I'm grown.
Yeah.
I'm all the way grown.
Yeah.
And from a mom's point of view, we're hurt now because you're used to listening to me. But when you stand up for yourself, which I taught you to stand up for yourself,
right.
Oh no, you're not supposed to stand up to me. I'm your mother. The devil is a lie.
Yeah.
Because I want you to be free, son, our daughter. And the thing is, you do it in a respectful manner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then you said something too about the titles and the expectations. That is the biggest robber of it all, because we rob ourselves putting those expectations on those people just because they have a title. Just like with our athletes here, they think they don't supposed to make mistakes. They're going to make plenty of mistakes. They're not going to make every tackle. They're not going to catch every ball. They're not going to do everything right all the time. Like you said, we're flesh.
Yeah.
And it's far too often where so much pressure is being put on our children.
Yeah.
Especially the athletes, because that's what we're talking about here tonight. But it's so much pressure being put on them like they're not supposed to be human.
Yeah.
And they are. But let's go to our Denzel, we're gonna come back to you, nephew, but I definitely want to tackle this really quick. Our audience been very, very engaging. So Possessor says, good point. We have to keep pushing. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. She says some people have church trauma. There may only be one chance to make a good impression. Yes, we do have. I had the church hurt too. But the one thing we have to also understand, just like Sister Stacey spoke about, look, when that the secretary told her what she said, she could have stopped there. We have to stop thinking that one incident is the whole church's fault. Like that pastor and that first lady didn't even have a clue what their secretary was doing. So it's really what we have to take a, you know, I get like a church supposed to be our safe haven, but church is almost like the hospital. So many of us in there hurting. But guess what? We're also hurting other people by doing what that lady done to Stacey. She didn't even realize probably what she was doing. She was worrying about the money. She wasn't worried about the soul that was the that needed help. She was worried about the cash.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And it's
And you
sad,
know what's so
sad.
funny about that? She was doing her job, and this is we talking about position.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe her job wasn't to be worried about Stacey and her man. Her job was to be worried about the money. They pay her to sit at that phone and ask or check or you know what I mean. So we
Right.
mad at you for doing your job, but you doing your job.
Right.
Ooh, and then we were taught sticks and stones may break my bones, well, hurt my bones, but words would never hurt. That's a lie. And that's so far from truth and truth.
Okay.
Words hurt.
Yes, and it's everlasting.
Yes.
I would that bone that hit it would heal. That bruise would go away.
That's
But
mental.
those words
Yeah.
They
is
affect
gonna
you.
be embedded in your head.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Come on, nephew. Let's talk about this. If you had someone to come to you, well, you were going through something and you wanted to go talk to someone and you knew what they probably done in their past, or maybe you even know or think you know what they're doing now. Would you take advice from them?
Yes. And hold on, I want to say, Miss Ebony, did I not speak when I first came on?
Listen, you know what? Leave me alone. I'm using you as an example.
Okay. 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 But to answer your question, yeah, I would take advice from them. I mean, I feel like everybody, go through every experience different, and everybody, probably have different advice for different situations. And if that person have like probably going through, I guess what I'm asking advice about, yeah, I would. I would. I mean, you can't be judgmental, judging nobody at all. Everybody make mistakes, so.
Amen. Oh man. So by you being the only athlete here tonight, and we all here are mothers, I want you to tell us, give us three things that we do as mothers that can kind of rub our children the wrong way. I
Let me
need to hear this. I really need to hear
Tread
this.
lightly, nephew. Tread lightly.
No, it's okay. We have an open relationship. We're good.
They're very good.
we do. Three things.
Tell us how we can come. Well, tell us how we can not make it easy for you guys, but not be so hard.
Mm,
Ladies, y'all help me out. Come on. I'm just trying to figure out what can we do better as mothers.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, because you guys have okay, get this. You guys have so much pressure already,
mhm.
right? You have to work out, you have to play ball, you have to do all this traveling. You really don't get much time to yourself. So just like you don't want to come home to a nagging wife or a nagging girlfriend, we as mothers, we want to know what we could do better. We don't want to nag you knowing that you're already going through it already. So tell us what we can do better. How about that? Is that better, ladies?
Yes.
Okay. What we
Definitely
can
for
do better.
men.
I
Like, could
don't
we
know.
listen more? Like, could we listen more and say less? Like, what could we do? Help us out.
I feel like my mom listen more. Like I feel like she do a good job. Like I feel like there's nothing that she can do better. Like she
No,
does
not her.
everything.
We
I know
speak
I'm just
about
saying I can't speak for our moms. I don't know.
okay. No, I'm saying
Right.
I
as
can
a
speak about
no.
like me and her relationship, but I
Okay.
don't know.
No, what I'm saying is
Sis,
like as a
Hmm.
uh, just say as an athlete, speaking from an athlete, don't speak from a son. Speak
I
from an
speak,
athlete.
but
Yeah,
like not all moms are the same though. You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
So you got like some moms who are like on top of their kids. You got some moms who kind of just let their kids run everything. They just kind of sit back and just go along with the agenda. And then you got some moms who just run everything. So it's like that was how it's kind of hard for me to answer that one. So
Okay, so if you had that mom that, we spoke about the NIL thing, right? Remember when the moms want the parents wanted stuff too? Okay, so I'm a student athlete and I'm in college right now. We all know that the college student is getting that cash flow. Okay. The young man who, Sissy, you told me about, who got his liver lacerated, he around here buying girlfriend Teslas and bought her a big old rock on her finger. And I'm like, hold on, you in college. But then I had to think about the NIL thing. So, okay, I'm a student athlete. And what happens if my parents want me to go to the school that's paying me top dollar? But my dream was always to go to the University of Miami.
Well,
Speak to me as like you, you're a student. Speak to me to give me some insight on what I can do to kind of like make my own decision instead of making the decision my parents want me to make.
Oh, so you want me to speak like as I'm speaking to a student?
Yes.
I'll just tell them follow your dreams. I mean, I understand, your parents, they want you to go to whatever school it is that they want you to go to. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's your education. It's going to be where you want to be for the next 4 years, not your parents. So I tell them follow their dreams and go to Miami.
That's right.
I keep it real simple.
Guess what, nephew?
Yes.
Sister Stacey went on a visit and she ain't like the locker room, nephew.
Yeah, you know what? Like you bombed a lot in that locker room.
You better tell them.
Let me rephrase. Let me rephrase.
You better tell them about that UK locker room.
It wasn't like, it was very outdated for, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, it wasn't Oregon's locker room or one of these fancy locker rooms where they got iPads and ventilation systems.
Right. See, we were going, maybe if I would have started at Miami first and then went to these other schools, I would have probably seen it differently. But I was like, wait
how
a
much
minute.
time you really spend?
University of Miami, it's a private school, so like, where's the funding? You know what I'm saying? Listen,
look at you now. You going with the money?
Listen.
I'm
why put all that stuff in the locker room though? Ain't your class anyway. You don't spend
I'm with Stacey. I'm with Stacey on that locker room. That locker room gets better and better every year.
Wait.
Hold on.
The locker room get better and better every year. Over here,
we're gonna be like what it is, the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Hold on.
Talking about Miami. Miami has produced some great athletes.
They have. I was disappointed,
and they came right out of that same locker room.
Yes. And I'm not saying, I was just disappointed that what I saw. I was surprised. I was very surprised because Miami has produced great athletes. There's a lot of greats that came from university. I have cousins that graduated. I have nieces and nephews that went there. Like, my family is UM all day. I was a big UM fan. I had to, I had to. Yeah. I had to. But, I was just a little disappointed. It was a little disheartening to see how it was and how you know what I mean? You don't spend
that much time in the locker room.
Exactly. No, well, I mean, the equipment room, everything was just, it was just equipment.
Wait.
You know them old weights that with the brick and it had
don't do that. Don't do that.
That's
what.
Well, Stacey,
when did you take your visit?
It was about 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Don't worry
She's
about it. It's
probably right,
all right.
Sissy. She's probably right, but that's okay.
Stacey,
I got pictures. I got receipt.
Ebony, I need you to help me out right now because I'm being mentally abused.
Oh,
I'm being mentally
on.
abused
If
right
it
now,
make you
Ebony.
if it make you feel better, UK update they thing
Well,
every
check us
single
out
year.
now. No,
Even the
check us out
walkway.
now. But
Even
check
the
us out
walkway.
now.
and
Check
you
us
know
out
what?
now.
And that's what I guess that's why I was so hurt and disappointed because I'm like, come on now, Miami. Like, y'all produce the people that came out of here. I mean, a huge fan. You know, I cousin that played soccer,
All right.
basketball.
We
Never
gonna
had
get,
anyone that played football, but you know, I was very, very, very
we gonna get
disappointed.
up
We
off
got an
the
indoor facility now.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah, because it was
I
being
told you, check
built.
us out.
It was being built during the time we were visiting. Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
not gonna
see,
pay
y'all went through a construction. You can't go to a school during
Nah,
construction.
bruh.
You can't go to the school during construction.
I'm
Go
totally,
now.
I'm totally mind blown by this
Go now. It's too
conversation.
late for them to go now.
We just all off topic.
It's okay. No, I it's funny. I'm sitting here thinking in my mind, it goes back to those expectations, right?
Yes.
You got these expectations.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to be realistic with our expectations.
Right,
Okay?
true. That's true.
These days, you didn't learn how to cope under pressure when you
Yeah,
got
that's
on
what
your
it was.
Hey, Stacey got in there and was like, "Oh, it's the lights surrounded by the cameras. Them lights, the blue, the bright blue lights, all that." Man, listen, that what is it called? The Craft Center,
Yeah.
owned by Mr. Kraft. When I
Yeah.
tell you they updated every single year, I hadn't been there in 3 years. Went back, this last season. My son was on every other wall. I was like, wait a minute. Well, wait a minute. It ain't look like this when we left.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. It takes time. It takes
Right.
time.
Yeah.
No, it was nice.
I am going to go back and visit. I am going to see. I am going to back. I take everything back I said.
All right. Natasha says, I tell my male athletes to stay away from the girls. They will come out of the woodwork once you're committed or signed. That we do know.
Ain't that the truth?
Because I'm telling y'all, I ain't even exaggerating. When I dropped out and off at school, and no disrespect, but they were lined up. They were literally out there lined up. And Sissy, you know, when we used to come out there after the game, I have never seen so many strippers out to a college game after the game. I'm talking about, look, my heels I got on is probably two of the size. You know what I'm saying? And they came out there with their little Daisy Dukes on, and they was on a mission. Nephew, tell me I'm lying.
You not.
All right, let's go to bro comment. Remember Rocky Drago had all of the state of the art equipment. We getting you, Stacey. We getting you at Rocky Trade with Natural Way, and Drago still got beat. Listen, don't play with you.
We ain't played. We ain't
First
played
impressions
against
matter
each
at a
other.
church or school. Let me tell you something. For her first impression she got from that secretary was never to attend that church possessor. And I get that. They do say first impressions are everything, but the thing is, it's not always the presenter. It's sometimes the one who's looking on.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have to be very careful with that one. I block women from their social media unapologetically. I don't care how much you block them, Natasha. They're going to find a way.
Yes, they're going to find a way.
They're going to find a way. Speaking of stress, right? Because that's a major stress for those athletes.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a major stress. Big temptation, right? That could be very stressful.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Take you off your course.
Definitely. Definitely.
Wow. And then too, you know, back then we had to stripper was out at his high, not at the high school games. Oh,
that's a bad man.
Man.
Okay, moving along because that threw me off my game.
That's a stress. That's a stress.
Oh, Jesus, these kids under some serious pressure.
Yeah, that's pressure. That is pressure.
I have a
Mhm.
question for you, Ebony.
Of course.
When our athletes are dealing with depression, as a mother or as a parent, how can we help them?
That's a really good question, right?
That's very good.
Because then you have to ask yourself, how do I even know that my athlete is dealing with depression? We mask it so well.
Mm-hmm.
We've been taught to mask it so well. And really all we can say is, as family, whether it's a mom or any other family, we have to be supportive. We have to learn how to be present at all times. So, we talking about being NFL moms. So y'all boys are big time. And in moments we could kind of get blinded by the excitement that comes with all of these great things, that it overshadows our athlete. It overshadows what they're experiencing and what they're going through. So I would tell any NFL mom, any D1 mom, even high school moms, to be present. Keep that communication going with your sons and your daughters who are playing these sports. Always talk to them, see where their mind is, because they are going to, you know, they're gonna talk at some point. They may not tell you everything, but they're gonna say some things. And we have to be present enough to hear. Right. And I don't like using that word here because as a therapist, I have my own views of the true definition of hearing. So we definitely have to be listening,
Listening.
because we can
Yes.
hear all day long,
Right.
Right.
but that don't mean I'm listening to you, right?
Right.
So we have to be present enough to listen, and then this is the big one, because we don't even do this for ourselves. We gotta give grace. Gotta give grace to your athlete. As parents, we think we know everything, unfortunately, and we know nothing when it comes to their sport. That's theirs. All we do is we just on the sidelines. We're just, rooting.
Cheerleaders.
Nobody know what you're going through. Nobody knows. We have an idea of what that pressure may look like, but we don't have one bit of a clue
Oh, yeah.
of what it's doing to them.
Yeah.
So when we see that they're off their game, whether it's on the field or on the court or wherever they're playing their game at, or even if it's at home,
Right.
grace. You know what I mean? Give grace when they slipping up, when something's not getting paid, when something's not, you know what I mean? And you noticing something off track with how they're handling their own personal life, or, even making some crazy mistakes here and there that they may do. We give them grace. We give grace, and instead of seeing what the problem is, instead we say, "Hey, what are you okay?"
Right. Look, your husband, I needed, done even chimed in, y'all. He
Oh
said,
Lord
as
Jesus.
a former collegiate athlete, my mom understood the choices I needed to make were my own. She would be supportive in my choices and would be there to offer encouraging words had I failed. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm glad that you said that, Mr. Sturr, because I don't know, Denzel, if you ever heard of that documentary that Alan did where his fear was letting down me. And I actually was going to show it here tonight, but this topic been so good, y'all. I don't even want to show no videos tonight. Stacey, we'll show the video another time
I'm
because
fine.
his fear has been so good. But one of his fears were to let me down. See, a lot of times as parents, well, as people, we talk at people and we don't talk with people. You see what I'm saying? And had not that documentary came out, I probably wouldn't have never even knew that was one of his fears. You see
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So when they came to me about it, I'm like, what? Like, no, like I'm gonna love him. He may not do some things that I like, but I'm still gonna love him
Right.
unconditionally. Now, what I would say, a lot of mistakes that I made, I was very boisterous. I said whatever I felt,
Mm-hmm.
not really understanding how that made him
You
feel.
feel
Yeah.
right.
You see what I'm saying? I was being selfish, y'all, because that's what I wasn't. I mean, it's not that I wasn't worried about his feelings. I
Mm-hmm.
just thought, as a mother, I have this right to say, no, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, we're always talking, we're listening to respond, we're not listening to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a lot of times what mistakes we make as moms, because look, there go that title thing. Oh, mom,
Mm-hmm.
I know what it should be. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
just like going back to that person that God sent to tell
Mm-hmm.
you some things, but you don't want to hear.
Right.
You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
have to be really, like you say, grace. We have to
Mm-hmm.
show it. We
Yeah.
have to show empathy. We have to be compassionate, because they may not tell us everything, but I'm telling y'all something. I can sometimes feel when my kids now,
It's
I can
wrong.
feel their
Mm-hmm.
pain. And
Yeah.
y'all may look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm telling you the truth.
It's
Yeah.
true.
I'm
That's
telling
true.
you, Denzel, nephew, you may don't understand this, but I promise y'all, and listen, the
Our
day
mother's gonna
Alan
know.
broke that foot, I mean that ankle, the day he broke that ankle, before we walked out his house, my ankle was paining me so bad that nothing never even happened to my ankle.
Mm.
So I can say too, not only can I feel their pain, I can say my spirit of discernment is on
Yeah.
fleek, as the kids say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only when you know something and your kid think that you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're just being a mom. One thing about it, there are two things for sure. Keep living.
Mm-hmm.
My mom tell me all the
All
time,
the
keep
time.
living.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
because boy, she told me y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, if had I listened,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and a lot of this stuff is generational curses. Ebony, that's what I want to ask you about these generational curses, right? Because the one thing we'd always like to talk about is karma, right? So
Yeah.
people, the things that we give off, we know is coming back, and it may not come back to us. It
Right.
can come back to our seeds,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what advice would you give us mothers that kind of like, I don't want to say take it easy because I don't know if we'll be able to take it easy. Kind of pump our brakes a little bit. I don't know about y'all, but I'm trying.
I
I'm
think I
trying.
think it goes back to the grace thing. At the end of the day, the whole concept of giving grace is understanding that I have to consider all of the circumstances. And when I consider the circumstances, it doesn't make it difficult for me to understand you, right? To understand what you did or understand how you think or understand how you move. And so when we talk about our children and, being concerned or, worrying or, because what we do is we're projecting our stress, our worry, and our anxiety onto our children. And so in those spaces, like we ain't got no choice but to give grace because I'm making you the way you are, right? When you were talking, I was, thinking I haven't worked with too many athletes, but I was able to work with a former NFL player. And one of his greatest, what's the word I'm looking for? Like pile of anxiety was not from being an NFL player. It wasn't from being a football. It was from family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
So where we, and Mr. Perryman, you can definitely because I don't play no NFL, clearly, right? So you can definitely, chime in on this if you like. But the sport is the sport. Is definitely difficult in the sense of meeting certain expectations or whatever the case may be. But oftentimes, the greatest pressure is our family. You want to make them proud. You want to make sure you playing every game. You want to make sure you showing up the way you're supposed to show up because all of that provides me a check. You know what I mean? All of that provides me what I need to take care of my family and make sure that not only am I financially taking care of them, but I'm making them proud. Right? I'm out there so that they can wear my shirt, so they can, do my jersey and shout my name and all these great things. And that in itself is a pressure that a lot of NFL players and other athletes and find themselves dealing with and struggling with. And so as parents, as family members, what do we need to do? We got to check ourselves. We don't do that enough. We don't do enough of the checking ourselves.
Wow.
I could tell you how to better assist your son and your athlete, but it starts with you. It starts with you as a person.
Girl, you do not have to get on here and beat us like that.
I love
Okay.
No, but as parents,
Yeah.
how do we cope with the pressure? Being that our sons are at that level, we are no longer our identity. It's Denzel's Perryman mothers, Alan Hearn's mother, Stacey's, Sherrell's mother, JJ's mother.
You
How
gotta
do
be,
we
you
deal
gotta
with
be
that
honest with
pressure?
yourself. You gotta be honest with yourself and be present with you, like understanding, because this is, like you said, this is your own pressure in itself. Like, okay, I can't cut up like I always used to cut up. You know what I mean? Like, I can't be that person out there in the street. Like, and I, you ain't out here, listen, because I get it. But I can't go off on you like I want to go off on you because I'm Denzel Perryman's mom. You know what I mean? It's like I gotta so always staying present with.
That's hard.
It is
Yes,
hard.
ma'am.
It
Yes,
is
ma'am.
hard. It is
Because
hard.
you have people that want to poke that
Yes,
bear.
ma'am.
But then my nephew told us we better not ever get 8632.
Don't
So
do it.
we have to be on good behavior.
You do.
Okay, sister, let's talk about when all of us sitting up in those stairs and them people get to rattling about our children. Whoa.
Yeah. That's
Feelings,
pressure.
but that goes back to feelings and fact. It don't feel good to hear somebody holler about my child. But what I know is what I know, and what you're saying is not the truth. So I don't have to respond to lies.
Girl, let me book your session.
Right.
I got a
Can
question.
we get a 2-for-1 special?
Okay, nephew, go ahead.
Has anybody pushed your buttons, Miss Ebony?
Yes, because I'm human, right? So I understand that we're gonna pop up. Listen, my son is not a football player. He plays basketball, and he's only in high school. But I've heard, yeah, he'll be a junior next year.
I played basketball for 3 games.
So I get it. I get that having to shut up. Not just having to shut up to the people who are sitting around me, but having to shut up to the coach.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I know y'all know that, right? Okay, so right, because he ain't gonna always be happy with my son. He ain't gonna always be happy about how he playing, and he's gonna always compare him to somebody else, right, in his progress. So and I've had to shut up. Thank God for my husband who will shut me up most times. But I've had to shut up. So Denzel, yes, I can pop off every so often, but I definitely know what it looks like when I pop off. I know what the results are to that, and it's not always good. And not that it's not always good for me, but it hurts my son. Like I'm not the one who has to deal with those. I saw him. Don't point it out. I saw him put the love emoji. So, but I, my son has to deal with the practices later on with the coach, and
right.
So I pop off. I'm not making it easy for him. I'm not, I'm making it worse. If I'm hollering in the stands and I'm saying stuff to the ref and all kind of things that I, don't know basketball, like I don't know nothing, but I could be loud in the stands. I could holler out some stuff, and I'm messing that up for my son. So as a parent, I got to remember that. Like you said, you're no longer, and I don't want you to say you're no longer Sandra. You are Sandra. That's who you are. Right.
But in the eyes of everybody,
but
when people address us.
Exactly. You're the mother.
Hey,
you're representing,
Hey, Perryman's mom. Hey, Hearn's mom. Hey, Philip's mom.
But Stacey used the perfect word. You represent. So remember what you used to tell your kids when they left their house?
Yeah. You represent.
Yeah, right. Okay. Right. Not only how they act, but how they dress and all these other things. Like you represent this house. right?
Right.
So you represent our
Oh, that's
family.
good.
So you have to remember that now the tables have
Turn.
turned,
Yep.
and
Yep.
you represent your son.
Right.
You know,
I I benefited from a mentor. I had a mentor during his 3 years in college. I was about to do something, emotional reaction that he had asked me to intervene. It was off of an emotional reaction. And
oh,
luckily, somebody from my hometown that knew us and knew the coaches as well pulled me to the side and was like, they just lost and everybody emotional. You cannot react off Corey, Stacey. He said you
Mm-hmm.
can if you trust me the next 3 years, I guide you. And when I tell you, he he's he fixed me. He fixed me because I was
it's good.
the 86-32, all that. I was worse than you at the basketball games because what you say about Lynn? Because I'm finna come sit next to you
You're
and
right.
ask you what did you say? Because I need to know. Because what you say when I was 3 seats back,
Right.
but that's the type. But thank God for him, because I
Yeah.
was vish. I'm talking about. I remember a man was 6'6".
But
I
that's how it
stumped
goes.
down them steps, sat next to him with my legs open like I was a dude. You hear me? I wanted to know who you was talking to or who was you talking about, because I got all your answers.
Yeah.
And you could go get the chick because I don't want to fight her. I want to fight you because the
Right.
girl can't do nothing with me.
Right.
I
Oh
like to fight
goodness.
boys. I grew up with
Nephew,
boys.
Right.
she was getting 86-32.
Oh yeah.
But I
Is
thank
it?
God
It's the
for a
truth.
mentor because I
Yeah.
was a different breed.
Yeah.
I told you
Mm-hmm.
the coaches used to hate to see me coming.
But you know what? That you what you said, stay sorry, Ebony, because I know you have a client and you have to go soon. But what you said that NFL player said about family being at the probably root of most of everything, that actually stuck me like in my side, because the thing is, what I thought I was doing as a parent is taking stress off. You understand
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like by keeping up with the grades and maybe getting the tickets, just doing things that, because I wanted him to focus, one, on
Mm-hmm.
school, and then two, on his career, what he
Mm-hmm.
loved to do. So as a parent, you think you're doing all of the right things, but sometimes it could be wherein the person may feel like you didn't allow me to be a man. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I thought I was doing everything as a parent,
Yeah.
to
When
keep that
you
pressure up off of you. And then going to the pro level, you know what I'm saying? I've always told my children, you guys don't owe me anything. You understand what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
You do whatever you want to
What to
do.
do? Right.
You don't owe me. You owe me. Yes, you owe me your high school diploma. You owe
that's
me.
it.
And that college
You
degree.
owe
Okay.
me.
Yeah, that's
That's
it.
what you owe me.
I
You
want
When
that.
understand?
you ask the question to Denzel, what is the three things that we could change as parents or he disliked? I went on mute and I asked my son. He said, "I'm a grown curse word man. It's too late to ask me them type of questions."
But it's not. Because the thing is, we want to move from now. Because see, by them being grown now, you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to
They
make
should be
those
able to express.
mistakes.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want to make those mistakes. Just like I was saying about the finances part of it. Like I taught, they don't owe me nothing. Anything they want to do, I want them to do it because they want to do it. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to have to feel pressure like you have to do this for me.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? I don't get out there and play football. I don't do nothing.
Mhm.
One workout. I don't do workout on my own self. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing about it is to expect that from my children. That's so unfair. You
Right.
Right.
whatever they decide to do, thank you. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Often,
I don't want
oftentimes
it
it's
to.
not. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I apologize. Oftentimes it's not the parent putting that financial expectation. We're talking about men here,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
So it is their
Mm,
natural, innate
Right.
being to provide,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and to show up and to want to show up, right? If you
mm,
raise them to be,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So
Right.
gotcha,
they're
gotcha.
going to naturally want to give back in the way that they know they can. They may not know they can be anything else for you than a provider in a sense of taking off a load, especially if they've witnessed you carry a load, right? And that's not everyone's story. So let me make that very clear. That is not everyone's story, but it is a story, and it is a spoken story very often.
Right.
Yeah, right. So most of our athletes are witnessing their parents, their mothers specifically, do this by themselves. And so in that sense, it's like, okay, I want to show up for you. Like, this is the way that I know how to show up for you. That's all I know. I don't know nothing else. I don't, I can't give you that conversation you need. We ain't on that level, right? I can't be there in that way, but I can definitely help you. I can buy.
Girl, look, I know where you was going. But that I'm glad that you said that, because I never want to be that to him, make him feel like he have to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he gave me everything I've asked for as far as his high school diploma and his degree. But at the end of the day, it's like you said, we raised them to be men. You understand? And their natural instinct is to provide. But just like that kid that maybe don't want to go to that school, but mama or daddy say you got to go to that school, that's pressure for them.
Yeah.
You understand? And it's gonna come back. You understand? So as far, and we all know, money breaks up a lot of families. Wow, God, do it breaks up a lot of families, because there go, thank you, Holy Spirit, entitlement. You should do this for me, because
I did.
you know what I like to tell my mom, and I hope she listening in. She, I didn't ask to be here.
Right.
Listen, but Natasha says the most consistent advice I give to my parents is that they cannot be more angry about a loss in their child. Give them space to process.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and that's where I felt before Justin went through his depression. I was that rough around the edges mom. I had
Hello.
I had boys. God didn't give me girls. I don't know how to mental parenting. That's why He didn't give me girls.
We'll do that shit too.
So I was that rough mom. And when he came to me and he was going through, his thing, and he found counseling. So he was talking to someone. He came to me and he was like, "Mom, it's not always what you say,
It's
it's
how you
how
say
you
it.
You
say it."
say it.
He said, "It's your
Deliverance.
approach."
Yeah.
And
Deliverance is everything.
like, Alou, this whole time I'm like, "Boy, you're a
It's
boy, you're a man, be a man. Ain't nobody got time for that." That was my parenting.
Yeah.
It wasn't, "What's wrong? Talk to me." It was none of that. But now, yes, he's grown, but I've changed. It's never too late.
yeah,
Now we're open.
absolutely.
We can speak on things.
Right.
I recognize when he's upset, and not just him, but my other children as well, my other boys as well. Because I did not know that they were so afraid to come to me because of that fear of me saying, "Boy, get your butt out of here!
I
Don't
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that quick." I
Yeah.
was quick on the draw, and I thank God, that he had to go through that to make me realize me, to see me for who I was. And it not only changed, how I am as a mother towards them, but my relationship in my marriage, at work, because I was, I'm the only Black female manager on my job. So it was like, yeah.
So you see, Sister Melissa, what you were saying, that when what was Leah's response, but the thing is, as adults, we want to make sure we're doing, having that open dialogue with our kids. We don't want
So probably in like the last, since that trip or whatever, we all talk several times a day. So if it's anything like you can have on the, I seen you with that hat on, or you said this on Facebook, it becomes a group discussion in between us.
Great.
So now we all doing a checking and balancing thing. And
Yeah.
it seems to be working.
Right.
It's not just he or I, or we
Yeah.
got a group chat. I was at work. He like, "You done picked up ours?" You was supposed to be here at 11 o'clock. I'm like, it's steady working. I'll be there at 2:30. Man, you supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? So it I
That's
think
good.
I think it was the plus we had never been apart. And when I left Ohio at 37, we left Ohio. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So after him getting cut and stuff and we came to Kentucky, that was the first time that me and him wasn't in the same state ever.
Mm.
So that was new. And then slowly but surely it became just me and my youngest son, which helped that. So everything needs to happen the way it happened.
Yeah,
Like
Right,
you said,
absolutely.
the loss of my grandma, my father, his best friend, my aunt, my daughter's significant other, which is his birthday today. Um,
Wow.
we all had to figure out what we need to do. So it's so
So
much better now.
yeah,
right,
that is so good, and a lot of times too, we also have to understand as mothers, like our kids is not going to tell us everything. I don't care how much we
Right.
ask them; they're not going to tell us. You understand what I'm saying? You could just forget it. But the thing is, like you say, be present for them.
Yeah.
Be
Right.
present for them.
right,
So
Yeah.
right.
hearing all of this, then nephew, because I see you just, hearing all of this. What is your take on this? Because you're the athlete here, and the pressure. Right now is the what we read, the numbers were alarming, but just tell us what your intake on all of this is, hearing what all of the mothers just said here.
Uh,
Or if you have a question for Miss Ebony before she have to get out of here, this is good, y'all.
um, I mean, I can't say being an athlete, family can sometimes be, yeah, like that number one stressor. I mean, at the end of the day, being an athlete, like you don't want to never let your family down. Like you want to be there for them, always on top of, like doing your job and all that good stuff like that. So, like, yeah, it can be a little stressful, but it was a lot. Y'all said a lot. It was a lot said. It was a lot said. Um, I
Any
guess
questions for Miss Ebony?
nah. How much you charge for your sessions?
Oh man. Ooh, I get me an
She
NFL player.
family too. She
Yeah, how much
family.
charge for your
What are
sessions?
you doing?
Ooh, look at God. Okay.
And look, let me tell you something. She was supposed to be here on the show. I'm gonna tell y'all this, and this is why I know this is all God, because she's supposed to been on the show, and it kept like I don't know. I just didn't reach out. She sent me her number and everything. And so last night I got on the phone. No, I called her, and I say, "This is Erica. Call me back." Her voicemail picked up. Mama called me back like, "Hello." Now the Erica. I say, Ebony, this is Hearn's mom. She talking about, oh hey.
I had to screen my call.
So and then she was like, yeah, no problem, and she jumped right on it. So I'm telling you, that's fam right there. She's good people, always have been good people. I'm not saying it because she's here in front of us. No, she's good people. She's family, and I didn't know that you do all that you do, Anthony. I really didn't know that, but because it's been a long time since
Yeah.
we actually talked or seen
Mhm.
each other. We used to stay in contact all the
Yeah.
time. But the thing is, yeah, nephew, she's good.
I appreciate all of you guys. I really do. I appreciate the opportunity, Erica, and everyone else. I don't do this very often, so this is definitely out of my comfort zone because I don't do the videos and the recordings and all of that stuff. I'm a behind the scenes therapist, and my husband's like, just do stuff. You learn how to just say, yeah, just go out there and let people see. So I appreciate the platform. And I did have some stuff because I don't want to not leave you guys with something to help, right? To cope with the stresses. And I really kind of put together some stuff for the athlete. But it can just work. It's interchangeable for everyone. And it's not our typical ways of dealing with stress. And when I say I'm talking about our black people, our way of
Right.
dealing with it. But it works. And so outside of being present and giving ourselves grace, you know, we definitely can practice taking deep breaths, and just, being mindful, because we don't do that. We're not very mindful people. And you all seem to be very in touch with your spiritual space. So meditation works, and you're not, you can meditate, pray, and rest on things, and just allow yourself to take in the present moment. That stress, because the stress is real, it exists. We have to stop ignoring things that exist. Ignoring it is not going to make it go away. It's not going to remove it. You know what I mean? And as an athlete, winning the game is not going to go away if I forget about the fact that I got to win the game. Making that touchdown does not go away if I don't think about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's still there. I know that I have to meet numbers, or and I don't know how it works in the league, but I'm just talking, right? So I know I have to meet certain expectations. I have certain things that I have to do as a player, and ignoring that does not go away, which is what the pressure is. And that can either create arousal or it can create anxiety. Okay.
What's arousal?
So arousal is it's excitement, it's motivation, it's that anticipation. You feel like, that readiness, like, okay, we down, we ready, all that woof, and they doing in the huddle and all that stuff. Like, that's the arousal of it. The anxiety is that excessive worriness, that what if I don't, what if that, oh man, I was in practice the other day and I hurt my ankle, what if I don't run the way I was supposed to run, or like all of that. So we can do something with arousal, because that's our motivation to keep going. All anxiety is not bad anxiety.
Right.
It's okay to have anxiety. Some anxiety allows us to meet a goal. Some anxiety allows us to get out of very stressful situations. That's when we talk about that fight or flight or freeze, right? So some of those things are good and some of those things are bad, but we have to know the difference. And if we're able to control ourselves, then the situation itself becomes control. We can't control the situation, cannot control people, but you can definitely control yourself. So, as an athlete, how do I do that? Sometimes, when we hear about it all the time, a lot of athletes have like before game routines that they have, little things that they do before they go out there on the field. Some of it, sometimes it's praying, sometimes it's listening to music. It could be a lot of different things, right? So having a pre-game routine is very helpful to release that stress, that pressure that they're feeling in the moment. It could be breathing, taking some deep breaths, slowly breathing in deeply through your nose and then exhaling it out of your mouth slowly, right? You do that however many times you need to do to get yourself back in that calm space. And what that does is it tricks your mind. It tells you that because with anxiety, our heart's racing, all these different things are going on. And so our change of our breathing, that changes too. So when you take deep breaths, you're tricking your mind that we're calm.
So even I know my therapist told me when you're taking those deep breaths and when you're exhaling, to tap anywhere on your body.
Yes.
That works. Let me tell you, that works.
Really, definitely, that is very helpful. And a lot of the times I tell some of my clients, like, it's, you take the deep breaths and you slowly release it. But sometimes some of that, I just got to blow it out, and it's okay to blow it out. And it's very symbolic of letting it go. So a lot of the times when you, it's like, okay, I'm ready. Somebody might scream it out, like, so, and that might get it out. Whatever you got to do to release that in that moment, release it. Release it.
All right. Husband says, no questions, but a comment to commend each one of you for this podcast. Great platform, and I definitely will tune in more often. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. And Ebony, you have to come back. I know you have a client. You have to come back. If we could do a part 2 of this next week, this will be.
Thank you.
Sis, we need to ask the one question that even aroused this whole thing. Remember, it was about the hood. We could not. Did you ever find out, Sandra, about the isolation wearing the hood? What is that? Does she know that?
Ebony.
Did
Tell
anybody
me what you
find out
say.
the answer?
What? Why we do this? Why?
Okay, so I know during the process of my children when they was getting counseling and stuff like that, one of the things they weren't allowed to do was to put their hoods over their head. What is that called, and why are they doing that? Because
So
I forgot. It's been so long.
so it's there's no name to it, but it symbolizes that safety,
Right.
right? So this is where I'm protected. This is why I do this.
Right.
And it is a body language. So
Mhm.
basically, what I'm telling you is, I ain't trying to hear you.
Right.
Don't
And
talk
I
to
don't
me.
want to be seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. It's the same thing as the AirPods and the headphones. Just don't say
Mhm.
nothing to me. I'm
Yeah.
in my zone or whatever that means, right? And so if someone is telling you, especially in therapy, hey, take off your hood, I want you to be vulnerable. I'm asking you to let me into a space that you let no one into.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Okay. And so as a therapist, the first thing I'm paying attention to is what you're looking like. Okay,
Mhm.
what
Right.
not necessarily what clothes you have on, but how you are, what you're speaking to me through your language.
Right.
Okay. And so the first 5 or 10 minutes in session, I can get a whole lot and you don't have to say nothing. I can tell by what you're doing with your hands. I can tell by, how your body is, how you're sitting. Definitely, if you got your hood on your head. And that could tell me not today, Miss Ebony.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow.
It can
Wow.
tell me, that's not a part of a conversation that I want to speak on, especially when we're talking about loss with
Right.
a person. With children, because adults are a little bit more open to having those conversations. Kids are confused with those feelings in the first place. And when we say kids, that even goes up to young adults.
Right.
Yes.
That's uncharted territory for them.
Yeah.
And so all my life I'm protecting me,
Right.
right? I don't know if you have good intentions.
Right.
I
Mhm.
don't know what you're going to do with this information, especially if I'm somebody, and everybody is somebody, but I mean in regards to, an athlete, maybe like you said, D1 school or NFL player. I don't know what you're going to say. I don't know how this is going to find its way outside
Right.
of this room. And all they
Right.
Back to hunt me.
yeah, all they
Right.
find this paper that says HIPAA tell me to be quiet and da 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 da. Every therapist is not quiet. Everybody's not, you know, oh, I got a such and such player. This is the person, I see such and such.
Right.
So though all those things go through a person's mind. So overall, that's what that means. It's
Right.
just
Yeah, and that was a red flag for me. I noticed Justin's demeanor, and that was the first thing. If my son, flashy, he wants to be seen. But when he was going through this, he lost his father. It was like everything hit him at once. One thing I noticed was he would wear his hood. He would come out of the tunnel. He would hug and kiss, but that was it. It was like no other interaction.
yeah,
And he loves people. And for him not to interact, for him to feel his, instead of him sitting up straight, he was slumping down his head. It was just all those things that kind of triggered me. It was like,
yeah,
he's not acting himself, something's not there. And luckily the coaches there also saw it at UK. So that was a red flag for him, because that was not his character. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah. And a lot of times, people do act out when they're hurt. Just like they put so many labels on these children now. You know what I'm saying? Like they're bad or what, all kind of stuff they just stigmatize these kids with now. But the thing is, when a person is acting out, they're usually trying to get some attention. Am I correct, Ebony?
Oftentimes they're seeking for something. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, some kind
And
of
then, yeah, like you said, with the protection thing, putting the hoodie on, the protection thing, especially in your safe space, right? You feel like, okay, nobody can hurt me now. Especially if you had some trauma back in your days, like
right.
you had no control over what happened to you. But now I'm an adult. You ain't gonna get to do this to me.
Yeah,
Right.
And now what happens is you're bleeding on people that didn't even cut you
yeah,
because you have this shell up and you're just you ain't having it because I'm an adult now. You don't get to hurt me,
Yeah.
you know. But sometimes, we just have to take a step back and hear. You know what I'm saying? Hear and reevaluate some things because if you make an emotional decision, baby,
Yeah.
now you're gonna find yourself in a deeper hole.
Yeah.
Bottom line, and
Yeah.
especially when we're dealing with our athletes because they're already feeling like I have so much already. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
don't want to have to deal with this right now because I
Yeah.
may just had a bad game, or I may just I don't stuck my toe or something, But we just have to try to find a way where we're as mothers, we just love hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
We truly
Yeah.
love hard.
Just give permission. Give permission to your athlete
Yes.
to be them, right? Like that's what, and that's not just athletes. We're all looking for permission to, release some of this stuff. And because, like you said, we've been raised to hold it in, to not, not feel this and not feel this, not think that or not think this. And so
She,
sometimes we're just needing that permission to be human, to
but let
feel.
me let me ask you this because this is hard too. It's almost as though like we're forgotten about. We wear so many hats as mothers, as women, period. We wear so many hats. But it's almost as though, do I hurt myself trying to make it easier for other people? You understand what I'm and
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. But if you're, so first of all, no woman is prepared to hear these words. Take all your hats off. Ain't nobody told you to wear those hats. Take them off. Right?
when I wear my hat.
Yeah, not that one, but you know
I'm
what I
just
mean.
kidding.
Take all those hats off because you don't have to wear any of those. You don't have to wear
And,
them.
and you got to be careful of other placing of the hats. When you lose something that's vital, like me, my grandma, she was the matriarch of the
Yeah,
family.
picking up a hat and putting it on. Don't
I
do
was
that.
doing that.
Yeah, don't do
And
that.
it took for my clients to tell me, "Are you insane? You
Yeah,
don't even realize what you're doing, and you're allowing other people
yeah,
to do to you." And
exactly.
that's when I was like, "Oh, I'm finna book a trip. I got to go
Yeah, yeah,
because I will not.
yeah.
Do
So,
I
But
love
see,
her,
like,
but I
we
will
don't
not."
we don't we don't need you booking no trips.
Okay.
Ebony, I gotta tell you that behind the scenes. we
Too late.
need you to
Too late.
stay stay here.
Next week.
still,
Next week I'm
okay.
out.
All right, sis,
Please.
I know what I'm praying for you to stay still, then, girl. That's it. They done told me. They shouldn't have told me. They shouldn't have told me what you needed to do. That's
Uh,
all I'm gonna do.
We don't need you making no emotional
Yeah,
decisions right
don't be
now.
taking no trips, Melissa. Sit still, girl.
yeah.
Oh, I got one for this month. I'll see you next month. I'll see you at the Paul Horn, and I got one coming up next week. I'm out.
But
I done already told
overall,
them.
I like to tell my clients this, and I'm sure you guys are all in therapy or have been in therapy, so I'm sure your therapists have told you as well. I use the example of being on an airplane, and they give us these instructions and they tell us, here's the oxygen mask. When it comes down, put the mask on yourself first. Once you put it on yourself, then you put it on everybody else. And if we only had listened to those instructions and actually lived by them, because it's so important. Oftentimes, as mothers, and all of our other positions, we're about taking care of everyone else first,
Yeah.
Right.
and that's amplified.
But what about your child? Because I'm giving my child it first.
No, you bet not. Let me tell you why.
Because
And
you got to be able to breathe
this is how
for
I
that
explain
child.
that. Yeah, so let's be
I don't
literal
care if
here.
I lose my life
No,
trying to
no,
save
you
my
do care.
son.
Because if you don't care, then that's a problem.
What I mean is, okay, I think this is probably the biggest robber too. I think I done lived my life. You understand? And he get a chance at life.
Who are you to get to say what your purpose is and how long it lasts for?
Right.
You better
You don't
say
get to
it.
determine that. Like if
You
whatever
better say
whatever
it.
God placed you on this earth for was for the time period that He did it for. And so what you're saying is, hey God, for my kids, we can cut that short. But you can't cut that short. If you feel like your purpose, which is not even a thing you should feel, but here we go. If you feel like your purpose is for your children, and then you let your life go, are you fulfilling the purpose you felt like was your purpose?
Well, that's what I'm telling you.
That's where I
I
was
just said
messing
that's
up.
what rob us. You understand what I'm saying? Because
That's where I was
and it
messing up.
happens too from single mothers, right? Or single parents. What happened is, well, I can speak for me. I built my life around those young men. You understand? Not realizing that one day they was gonna be grown and they're gonna want to do their own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Until it slap you in your face.
Right, exactly. And
But
it's
you know
not
what?
that. It's not my thing is I just want to feel a part. I don't have to be in everything. I don't have to be, but I just want to feel a part. Hey, it's me over here. You know, I just want to feel a part.
But
But you
part is
naturally gonna
nature.
be a part.
Yes.
Right.
Huh?
But listen, you gonna
Wait,
naturally
what you
be a
said?
part.
Okay, you will naturally be a part. Okay.
Listen, my problem was I was so involved in everybody else's mess. Not mess, but you know, they life that I didn't have one. So when everybody else's life was gone, people was dead. What
Loss
was
of
I supposed to
identity.
do? What was I
Loss of
supposed to
Of
do?
identity.
Loss
I
of identity.
never forget when the paramedics came out and told me that my dad was gone. And they said, if you need us to help you with anything, I was like, I don't even know what am I supposed to do? And that's when I had to realize he passed, she passed, you did not.
Yeah.
You could not carry the load any further. Their life expectancy was done.
Yes.
Now that was God giving you your okay for you to live. You
Yeah.
have to move forward. You can't lose you. I started, if you paid attention, when I first came on here, I had on earrings, this, and that. I took all that stuff out, all that stuff off, and I started reinventing me, reintroducing myself to somebody I didn't even know.
Yes.
So
That's
for
good.
everybody, it seems like I'm running, I'm doing this. No, I ain't never had a chance to go on vacation. I ain't never had a chance to breathe.
But we gonna need you. You banned from
She
vacation.
is catching up, honey.
You know what? Vanessa, after hearing
Melissa said, "Bought them kids."
Man was saying it.
After hearing that much, Melissa, go take your trip, baby.
Man, listen, once a month.
Ebony,
I still go answer that phone, but
Ebony, give her some tips on taking the trip now.
Okay, we gotta set boundaries.
Y'all can let me know.
I did good this time.
Let me know the tea in the background, but as far as I'm concerned, she deserves some trips.
No, but I am very, very mindful because at the end of the day, I am a representation of my son.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you, when them clubs don't close to 6 or 8, I'm outside till I'm tired. I'm outside because I work 7 days a week on purpose.
Look at Sandra.
As long as you make
you gotta go in at 4. You gotta go in at 4. But my friend said we ain't gotta go in till 8. Okay, at 6, I'm tired anyway. I'm gonna leave y'all at the club. And
I'm telling
you, decisions. As long as you make the right choices, listen. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know.
I'm getting in the Lyft and the Uber. I ain't driving drunk. I ain't killing or fighting.
But listen, we're gonna have to talk later, girl.
I'm outside. I'm outside every chance I get.
We're gonna have to talk later. But no, definitely, I agree. And we have to put ourselves first, because if you don't put yourself first, you can't be what you're trying to be for anybody else. You can't.
Right.
As much as you try. If you are half full, what you got to give?
Yeah.
You know,
I have nothing left for nobody.
So the goal is to get to 100, right? You do as much you need to do for yourself to get to 100. But here's the key: even once you hit 100,
don't
you still
stop
ain't
there.
got nothing to give.
That's right.
Understand that you don't have nothing to give, and this could be looked on a spiritual aspect and everything else, right? God wants us to give, but He wants us to give from our access, not from
what you don't got.
What we got, because this is ours. This is our retainer. So if I give from my retainer and I give and I only got 50, what do I have to give me? Why is it that I got to give myself 50%?
Right.
Why is it that I can give you 100, but I only give myself 50? He wants us to give from our excess.
Wow.
So if I'm at 100, I need to be at 155 or 200 or 300 or 500 before I can start giving the way that people expect me to give. Right?
Right.
So
You're
Whoa.
responsible for your own
Okay, she
happiness.
on to
You got
something. Yeah,
to come back, Ebony. You
that's
you
what
have to
boundaries
come back.
are. Girl, I gotta go. Listen, let me tell you what's so funny. I don't have a client, Erica. My son is having a meeting with a recruiter situation thing, right? So I got my husband over there doing the job, and he done text me talking about I need to log in for the start.
All right.
So let me go.
If we could do a part 2 next week, let me know. Text me and let me know if we could do a
Okay.
part 2.
Okay, I'll let you know. I'll let you know
yeah.
what my schedule look like.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
We
All right.
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much,
Thank
Ebony.
you.
Oh,
Thank
thanks,
you.
I
Ebony.
enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much
Love
for
you,
having
be
me.
blessed.
You ladies are lovely. Keep doing what y'all doing. Y'all are a blessing, not just to other NFL moms and athlete moms, but to moms, period. So y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Keep moving by whatever, what the spirit has got you guys doing. Keep yourself in tune, right? Not just spiritually, but with your mental space. All right. I'm here if you guys need me. Love, love, love. I love
Thank
you.
Love you.
you.
I'm gonna send my
Thank
nephew
you.
your information. I'll send it to my sister and she'll send it to my nephew.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you, Ebony. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yo, let me tell y'all, this was amazing.
It was.
Amazing. Natasha
Yeah.
said, yes, safe space, stay back, leave me alone. She's talking about the hoodie thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, that hoodie, I went through that with all four of them. So
what you
I
think
was,
about the kids may wear the hoodies, but some of us adults, we dress it up. It may be
yeah,
the
you could,
makeup.
because
It
we
may
know how.
Right.
Right, exactly. So,
We
but
know how
just
to mask
hearing
it.
everything that she said, ladies, how are you feeling now? Because I'm telling you, this was so much good information.
But
I-
Erica, behind closed doors, everybody think that's the problem and the frustration that I have right now. I know I can't change the way people think, but everybody thinks that I'm supposed to be halfway where I am not. No, I'm not. No, I'm
no,
not.
but watch this. What happens when they think that you're supposed to be in a certain position because of who your son is?
Well,
Mhm.
you know what? They might have a point. But right now, I'm not
They
worried
don't
about.
have a point because at the end of the
Oh, I
day,
thought you meant if I was acting up,
no,
like,
no, no. What I'm saying
oh,
is, when people looking at you, say for instance, I get a lot of price gouging, especially when they find out who you are. My
right.
money is not Alan Hearn's money,
And
okay?
sure ain't.
Right.
You
They
know
don't
what I'm saying?
understand.
So,
You heard what I said. I work 7 days a week.
right, but what I'm saying
I
is,
do what
what
Melissa want to
happens
do.
when you have maybe y'all? We really doing our hats tonight. I don't know where your hat at, Sister Stacey.
Okay, you ain't
Maybe
nobody
next
tell me it
time.
was that
Man,
day.
my hair, girl, this hair doing his
But,
own one too.
yeah, but what happens if you have a loved one or maybe a friend outside? Like they may come to you for something and you say you don't have it. You mean to tell me you don't have it?
Well, you know,
Your
I know
son
how
is
to.
X, Y, and Z.
I
What
hang up.
what
I
the hell
hang
is
up
you with the
all the
can of
time.
paint? They're looking at you because of who you're attached to. That
Right.
is so unfair to us as mothers, and I'm sure all of us probably get it. You know what I'm
We
Mhm.
saying?
do, we do. But guess what? Guess what? I'm okay with hanging up. I like to hang up anyway. I don't need. Listen,
Fix it, Jesus. Fix it.
I don't need. I don't need.
No
I need
added
these
stress. No added stress. I
kids.
get that. I
Yeah, I
truly,
need.
truly get
I
that.
I got to
So,
keep this mental together. You hear me?
yeah.
I
Yes.
that is my main concern. I don't give a rat's
Uh oh.
about nothing.
All right. All right. All right. Listen.
You done got
So,
them fired up.
ladies, this show was amazing. We had coping under pressure was the topic. So, shouts out to our Facebook family, our Instagram family, and our YouTube family. Thank you all for tuning in here with us on tonight. This topic was amazing, and we had a lot of engagement, which it says a lot, ladies. We're doing something right. You understand?
Mhm.
We're getting on here, we're sharing our journeys, we're sharing our stories. We're not talking at people, we're talking with people, and that's what makes a difference. And we're transparent. You
Right.
understand? I was just talking to a young man the other day, and he was telling us, he was saying how gossip travels so fast, and a lot of these podcasts is now what? A whole heap of gossip. And
Mhm.
I say that's what sells. it's unfortunate, but that's what sells. And
Right.
that's not what you're going to get here. It had to happen for through the eyes of NFL moms. Unfortunately, it's not unfortunately, but that's the thing. But I want you ladies to go ahead and leave our audience with something on tonight about this topic, because I'm telling you, it truly, truly blessed my soul. So starting with you, Sissy Sam.
I would say, just continue to be supportive, and like Ebony said, extend grace.
Man.
Amen.
Mhm.
Come on, Sister Melissa.
And don't hang up on nobody.
Right.
Girl, you better read my statuses on Facebook. Everybody be like, did you just hang up on me? Oh
Oh
no.
yeah, let me tell you something. I told her I have when you tell somebody I'm gonna call you back, you wait for the person to say okay, talk to you later. I call you back, click. I told her I'm not talking to you no more. I am not.
I'm sorry. At least I say I'm gonna call you back to you because I normally just hang up to some
But
quick.
in the middle of I'm gone, all I hear is I'm gone. After that, I don't hear nothing else because she be
I'm
done hung up.
sorry. I'm gonna work on see.
But go ahead, go ahead.
It's identifying the problem and accepting accountability.
That's
I am
right.
working on it. I am going to quit hanging up on people. I am,
Did you see that arrow?
I'm
Yes.
going to quit hanging up on people, and I'm going to do a little. But for you, I do a little bit better. Now folks might get hung up on anyways. Now I ain't even finna lie. But anyways, I, the one thing I want to leave with everybody. Yeah, it seem like I'm crazy. Yeah, it seem like I'm doing whatever what I want to do. But guess what? I am finally. I'm finally doing what I want to do, and I want to be a help to others. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all. Everything else, I'm gonna be out till 6 o'clock in the morning. Go ahead, Stacey.
Stacy, come on, Stacy.
Fix it.
Stacy, please come on, Stacy.
Okay. Why you ain't let me go before her?
I know.
Oh Lord. Well, I just want to leave with the audience and with you ladies as well. It's okay not to be okay.
Amen.
It's
It is.
okay not to have it together. It's
Mhm.
okay not to, be everybody's friend. It's okay. You
Mhm.
know, but what's not okay is being silent, sitting on it, not
Right.
speaking out. Talk to someone, and as always, love on each other.
Hmm.
Love
Hmm.
That's
on each other.
good. That's good. But it's not okay for Sissy saying not to be my sissy. It's
No.
not okay.
Oh, she throwing a tantrum over there. That's a shot. That's
That's
a shot, a
forever.
nice
10
shot.
toes down, baby. 10 toes
Listen,
That's
down.
right.
But I like to
Y'all
leave
ain't for each
with you
other
guys
because y'all
on
balance
today,
each other.
piggybacking off of what you said, Sister Stacey, because you was right on what I had here. And it said, in today's fast-paced world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, but remember that you're not alone. Take the
mhm,
time to care for yourself, seek
mhm,
support, and keep pushing forward. You got this. And we're rooting for you guys here on Through the Eyes of the NFL Moms, because we know day to day life, y'all, it ain't easy being a mother. It's not easy,
mhm.
just being a woman, more or less, than being a mother.
Right.
We
Mhm,
wear plenty of hats. Same grace is what I hear in my spirit. Same grace. Extend it, y'all. Extend
mhm,
it. We love y'all here at It Had to Happen. We cannot do this without you, and you. Y'all, listen, if you have a topic that you would like for us to speak on, or if you have questions, whatever it may be, shoot us an email at ithadtohappen@gmail.com. We'll love to hear from you all. Let us know how we're doing here. Good, bad, what we can do better, whatever it is. Just let us know. We're open. We're definitely open. But ladies, thank you so much for sharing on today. This show was on fire. It
mhm.
definitely
It
was on
really
fire.
was.
Shouts
Yeah.
out to Ebony, guys. I don't have Ebony's information
Hopefully,
here, but
you think, wait
she
a minute. How's Miss Darlene?
Yeah.
I can't get her. Miss Betty told me that she had open heart surgery, y'all.
She
Oh
Oh
wow.
okay.
wow.
So please do keep her up because I called her. I've been calling her every day. I can't get her. So matter of fact, when I get off, I'm gonna call Miss Betty to see because I know Miss Betty go over to see Miss Darlene. But
Okay.
y'all keep praying.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Keep praying. She was diagnosed with breast cancer. The chemo radiation, one of them messed up her heart.
Wow.
So but we're gonna trust and believe that God is definitely gonna do a new thing and send her the heart that she needs, or just the healing that she needs.
Right.
He's right.
But definitely, please, y'all, keep her lifted up. Darlene Andress, y'all. She said, "I just love y'all. I
And
just
we love
love
Miss Darlene.
We
you,
do.
and you not putting on that lady. No, I ain't even going there with you,
I
Melissa.
got that silver from
No,
Miss Darlene. I got that
God bless
stuff.
y'all. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and send out these virtual hugs, y'all.
Oh,
Virtual love. Let me see if I get my hearts. Nephew
get
did
them.
something to my computer. Nephew, what you did?
He said you need to update it. Ain't that what he said?
Oh, I
You need
do
to update.
probably. I do. But we love
Oh,
y'all
we
here.
did get an update
He said
last
update.
week.
Okay, so I'll update when I finish. Well, we love you here. And it had to happen. We cannot do this without each and one of you. But listen, tomorrow, Girl Talk Tuesday with Dr. B, our prayer broadcast, y'all, is on fire. Y'all do not want to miss
What
that one
time it
either.
start?
That one's at 5:30. God is
I
definitely, I can
I'll jump
feel it.
on.
He's going to do a thing on tomorrow, y'all. Oh my God, I can feel him move on tomorrow. But I'm going to tell y'all something. I say I'm in a season from miracle to miracle. You know, I'm no longer going to the recital. I mean, I'm no longer rehearsing. Y'all, we going to the recital. And y'all coming with me. No sister is left behind. It's time
Hmm.
for us to get what's due to us. It's far too often, like you said, Sister Melissa, it's time for you to travel, but do it. Yeah.
Oh no, I've been being good.
No, but I'm just, again, it's time for us to get because we've been everything to everybody.
Right. Yep.
Let's be
I,
good to
I
ourselves.
definitely have
Or we could be better to the people
to
that surround
ourselves.
us.
Oh,
Right.
So I love you, sisters. God bless you all. Until
love
next
you
time,
too.
guys. Bye
Bye,
bye.
Bye
y'all.
bye.
Bye.
Love y'all. Mhm.